my research topic question is what communication skills are needed to maintain a healthy and successful marriage. The reason I chose this topic is one day it came upon me, the typical Sunday. I was sitting down enjoying my coffee and just having a good day. My wife came running downstairs, running late for work, and she kissed me goodbye, asked me, "Do you need anything while I'm out? If you do, let me know, text me, what have you," when she left. And I remember thinking, wow, what a great woman, what a great wife. I'm so lucky. And quickly after that, I thought, okay, wow, I have such a great wife. What do I do to keep this woman? Every relationship I've had has ended badly. So what can I do to make this one different? And that's how I came to research this topic. So that's what I want to do today, share with you the research I came about and how I plan to implement it to my marriage. So let me begin with the first research I came upon is great emotional communication. Great emotional communication is essential in having a healthy, successful marriage. One of the ideas within great emotional communication is mental maturity. Now, mental maturity can help a marriage thrive. Within mental maturity, there has to be an understanding by both parties that you're in an equal partnership. There can't be an attempt to inflict dominance one over the other. So going with mental maturity and how it plays a factor in successful and unsuccessful marriages. With successful marriages, couples resolve things. They talk. They don't debate. They don't argue. They work to resolve issues. Unsuccessful couples let things linger or they ignore things when they fight about stuff. They don't resolve anything. There's no resolution. It stays there. It lingers. It's always there. It comes back at some point. Nothing gets resolved and it does nothing to help the relationship. So that's just an example of mental maturity and how it goes with successful and unsuccessful marriages. Another topic that resonated with and where I found the information about mental maturity from the article How to Maintain a Strong Marital Bond, which was written by Shanghai Tenjin Kai, is that it's vital to not allow our partner to influence us in how we react when we're in an argument or in some kind of conflict. Escalation in an argument is just an example also of not being mentally mature. You make matters worse. Studies do show that men tend to be more difficult in these situations. They tend to be more defensive, more confrontational. They make matters worse by escalating these situations. And this is not the case in my marriage. I'm always understanding, supportive, and accepting to criticism, as you all know, right?
Yes, dear.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's not true at all. Okay. My upbringing, I learned that the man was the dominant one. The man went home to work, wife stayed home, old school, did clean the house, made food, washed and ironed the clothes. That was the tough guy persona that I learned from my upbringing. And that's obviously not accurate. That's not a good way to be, but that's what I saw and learned. And well into my adult years, I had the same mindset as well. The man was the dominant one, and that was that. It took me a long time to learn that mindset didn't bring peace, it didn't bring joy. You can't have happiness unless you're both in it equally. It's impossible. There's going to be resentment in that relationship if you don't have that equality. And I learned that looking at failed marriages that ended up in divorce or still together, but they're living unhappy. So going on to the next topic that I researched or found in my research is influence social network has on a marriage. The article I came across is called "The Protective Influence of Relationship Commitment on the Effects of Facebook Addiction on marital disaffection." Um, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things now, whatever you want to call them, they have a negative effect on relationships. Like that studies have proven. I have to share with you that my wife spends way too much time on social network, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves in our marriage. Believe it or not. No, that's okay. Listen, hear me out, okay? Let me share some numbers with you. Statistics show that people average 2 hours on social media every day. 50% of people check their social media while driving. 70% of people sleep with their phone right next to them. Now, before I go on, my wife is guilty of all those things. And studies show that people waste too much time and energy on social media, which is obviously time and energy they can spend on their significant other. Studies also show that people tend to be jealous when they look at stuff on Instagram. They look at other couples experiencing things, and they start to think, well, why can't I experience those things? It's human nature, and it's not healthy behavior, obviously. The worst that came from my research and people that spend too much time on Instagram was infidelity is the factor now. It's very common. It's easier for people to interact with other people and be discreet about it and interact with many people. It's something that's out there, and we have to be mindful of that. Spending too much time on social media can be irresponsible, can lead to these types of things. So, anyways, moving forward to the best part of my research was an article by Dr. John Gottman, and the article was titled "The 8 Dates That Could Make Your Marriage Last Forever." Now, the information was so great in this article that I couldn't wait to share it with my wife. So, essentially, this article lays out a plan for 8 dates. It gives you the topic of conversation, the environment you're going to be in. It includes good things you talk about, the things you love about your relationship, also the things you hate about your relationship, which can be healthy, whether you think so or not, because when you go in with a good state of mind and you bring up these issues that you're not so happy about, you're more prone to resolve them, or at least learn how to deal with them more healthier. So let's bring it home. What communication skills are needed to maintain a healthy, successful marriage? I'm excited to take this information I learned and share it with my wife. I plan to make a serious effort to be mindful of my behavior and improve as a husband. I honestly feel that the knowledge I've obtained from the research, that I can combat any potential hardships that can come into our marriage. This research taught me that both successful and unsuccessful marriages tend to deal with a lot of the same bad things. I never really thought about that before, but yeah, they do. Successful marriages aren't perfect. They're not lucky and have no problems. They have problems just like anybody else. They just deal with them responsibly, and that's a fact. And I think that's the most important thing I learned from this research. One of the most important things I learned from this research. I believe that what ties all this information together is effort. The effort you put into it, like anything else, is what you're going to get out of it. A positive attitude, being open to learning things, is very essential in having a successful marriage. So today I feel confident more than ever that I can be a good husband. Knowledge is power. I plan to take what I've learned and continue learning and continue getting better and continue in improving my marriage. That's key to being successful. Never stop learning, never stop improving ourselves. But the most important thing I learned overall is that my wife needs to spend less time on social media. Period. Hey, that's okay. Thank you for your time, everyone.